Michael Radler, Kathleen Miller, W. Tadeo, S. Alberti. The reason why I don't know your first name, W. Tadeo, is I don't have the public employee payroll. The reason why I don't know your first name, S. Alberti, is I don't have the public employee payroll, despite the fact that I've demanded it via FOIL 20 times. Such as on July 6th. I'm going to show you the key word there. It's law. July 6th. I sent this registered mail return receipt to public employee payroll for Monroe County Sheriff's Office and Monroe County Jail. July 6th. Let's see. It's September. So that's over 2 months ago that I demanded the public employee payroll. So July 13th. See that there? The key word is law. Law. Your boss, Sheriff Todd Baxter, correct me if I am incorrect, enforces the law in Monroe County. So I have a document here. That's a Freedom of Information Law document. I'll read it. Public employee payroll for the Monroe County Sheriff's Office and Monroe County Jail. July 13th, I sent this. Registered mail return receipt, so you have it. I'm demanding how much you are paid. I especially want to know how much Andrew Reale is paid. Andrew Reale is a disgusting, incompetent hack. And what is with that Forrest Gump thing he has going on there? You tell him I said that he looks exactly like Forrest Gump. But at least Forrest Gump was a successful entrepreneur. I mean, he was a success despite the fact that he looks like Forrest Gump. So tell Reale. It's uncanny, the resemblance between Andrew Reale and Forrest Gump. So... And I sent you one, let's see here, September 17th, the public employee payroll. That's a key word there. It's FOIL. Public employee payroll. Nothing. So, now, you'll want to lie about this. You bought a camera. You fixed it to the building at 2025 Penfield Road. Because I was on that camera when I came outside to tell this toothless loser in grass country he's cutting grass alongside my house that no one owns. That's your camera. You bought it. You paid for it. It's yours. And when you affixed it to that building, Elliot Roth knew. And he told me it was on that building. So this is called a surveillance device. You got it? And because you used the phrase surveillance device, you know what that indicates? That is a surveillance device. So, I want to know, since I was on it, when you six fanatics converged on me, walking through a parking lot, or standing in the corner of the parking lot. Quote, the cost of the surveillance device purchased with taxpayer dollars by Monroe County Sheriff Todd Baxter and affixed to a building at 2025 Penfield Road to monitor if Christopher Chichester, 26 Sanders Farm Drive, walks through the parking lot next to the building. You got that? So, now, Monroe County is in the state of New York, and I've lived in Monroe County for 9 years. So I know exactly where the county is. Do you? Because I believe that if you work at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, you should be working where? In Monroe County. Now, one of the things, since I'm a former public employee on Capitol Hill and in Albany, one thing that I know is a constant source of incompetence and corruption is when people who work for a certain organization and they want to go somewhere else, and this is called the junkie. They don't want to do their job. They want to go on a trip, and they want to have the taxpayers pay for it. So I've always thought that this is a sleazy and unethical way to comport yourself as a public employee, because you should be on the job. You should be at your job if you're a public employee. When I worked in the Rayburn House office building for Congressman Lamar Smith, I was in the Rayburn House office building. When I worked for Sarah Limpy Snow in the Russell Senate office building, I was in the Russell Senate office building. And when I worked for Governor George Pataki and Senate Majority Leader Ralph Marino in the Capitol on the second and third floor, I was on the second and third floor. I was at my job. I wasn't somewhere else. So, why was your public employee, Ryan Fisher, standing at Mercedes-Benz Stadium before the Super Bowl in 2019 with his canine dog, Lola. Why was he there? And he was there in uniform. So that means if he's in uniform, he's on the job, as you say and they say about cops. He's on the job. So if he's on the job, if he's in uniform, taxpayers, Monroe County and State of New York paying for it. So he sent Ryan Fisher to the Super Bowl with his canine Lola. And I want to know, via Freedom of Information law, I'm going to point to the key word there. It's law. See that law? I want to know how much the taxpayers of Monroe County and the State of New York paid for Ryan Fisher to stay at a hotel in Atlanta, Georgia to go to the Super Bowl. And I want to know how much the taxpayers of the State of New York paid for the care and feeding of his dog, Lola. That's what I want to know. Your boss, Sheriff Todd Baxter, sent this public employee, Ryan Fisher, to the Super Bowl in Atlanta. And it's courtesy of the taxpayers. And I'm demanding how much that trip was. And you know what you're going to do? At the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, where you're responsible for enforcing the law, you're going to completely ignore this foil. They're going to completely ignore the law. The law's a joke to you. The law's for other people. Why is Ryan Fisher in Atlanta, Georgia, and who approved it? Does Sheriff Baxter even know that Ryan Fisher is in Atlanta, Georgia? Because I know that in a bureaucracy, there are different levels, if you will, that you report to, different individuals, I should say, that you report to. So there are people in between Ryan Fisher and Todd Baxter. Because Ryan Fisher has a direct supervisor, I assume. So, who approved Ryan Fisher to go to the Super Bowl in Atlanta? Was his direct supervisor, or did Sheriff Baxter know that Ryan Fisher is going to the Super Bowl in Atlanta? That's what I want to know. So, I also want to know which one of you picked up the phone and called the Office of Mental Health in Monroe County and had Lindsey Barron come to my house. Which one of you did that? You picked up the phone, and she's at my door. I hadn't talked to her because I was running, but she was here. Why are you calling this woman to my house? One of you four did this. Which one of you called Lindsey Barron to my house? I'm going to find that out because I'm going to call her boss today, and then I'm going to call her. I'm going to say, who was it at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office that's dispatching you to my house? Who is it? And what's the reason why you're picking up the phone and calling this appalling Lindsey Barron to my house? I already contacted her because she's in charge of the forensic intervention at the Office of Mental Health. And my mental health is just fine. You're the ones that have some mental health issues. I'll just say issues because I'm not a doctor and I don't go around saying someone is mentally ill unless I have a good idea that they are. And you know what? Todd Baxter is mentally ill and you four are too. Because you're picking up the phone and calling this woman to come to my house. And why? Why is Lindsey Barron here? Why did you call Lindsey Barron to my house? Tell me. So, I go to PW Fitness. I'm at the gym, this now defunct gym here in Penfield. I'm at the back of the gym. I'm doing 3 sets of 10 repetitions. I lean back, do third set, and Jermaine Benman is in front of me. He doesn't want to wait. I lean back on the bench press. He straddles me, punches down, my head snaps back. This is a violent assault. I go outside after somebody called the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, and Andrew Reale puts me in his vehicle, and that's when he marches Benman around to the side of the vehicle, and he charges me. Benman says, I want to press charges against you because he was coached by Andrew Reale. This right here, you can see that. This is what your corrupt, pathetic, public employee, Andrew Reale, did to me. Andrew Reale wrote this ticket. That's his handwriting right there. He knows he did this to me. He knows that Benman is a violent thug, Andrew Reale. And he knows he marched Benman around to the side of the vehicle and coached Benman to say, I want to press charges against you. And I look at this ticket, and it says harassment second. I've never harassed anyone in my life, ever. And this ticket with my name on it, written by your corrupt fascist stooge, Andrew Reale, says harassment second after he knows how I was charged. So what happens is, I have to go to Penfield Town Court, and I appear in front of John Lomenzo. And I'm at the podium, I look over, and the prosecutor from the Monroe County District Attorney's Office doesn't say anything. And after the brief proceeding is over, John Lomenzo pronounces me guilty, and they take me in the back, they put the handcuffs on me and the leg irons on me, and they take me to Monroe County Jail. So then Jermaine Benman, the individual, this violent thug that assaulted me, and I hate the fact that I have to say he assaulted me because I can handle myself. It's just I'm not going to respond to violence with violence, especially in a public place. So Jermaine Benman, he has to appear before James Mully in Penfield Town Court. And I get a subpoena to go. So I go to this nauseating star chamber. And if you've been there, you walk in the front, and there's a long hallway, and that's where the library is. And you go to the left, and that's where the courtroom is, and that's where John Lomenzo and James Mully is. So I get the subpoena to go. And when I arrive, the court employee tells me to wait in a room across the hall, and I don't know why. And I'll find out why. So I get a subpoena for Benman's appearance in Penfield Town Court. And I go and I sit in this room, and I'm in there for 15 minutes, and then the court employee tells me I can leave, because Benman already appeared before James Mully. And I don't leave. Then I go to the window, and I ask the clerk what happened with the James Benman case in front of James Mully. And she tells me it's adjournment of dismissal. And I ask her, what is adjournment of dismissal? And she says to me that if he stays out of trouble, that's her language, then the charges are for 6 months, and the charges are dismissed. So I go to PW Fitness. Benman can't wait to use the bench press. He punches down violently like that. My head snaps back. He attacks me. I can take the punch. I can handle myself. I don't respond. Reality comes, marches around to the side of the vehicle. I'm charged with harassment second. I go to Penfield Town Court. I appear before John Lomenzo, and I go to Monroe County Jail, and I'm there with murderers and rapists and gang members and arsonists. Benman goes to Penfield Town Court. This violent thug, he appears before James Mully, and I'm ordered out of the room despite a subpoena, and Benman walks out of Penfield Town Court a free man. So, what would you think if that happened to you, Michael Radler? What would you think if that happened to you, Kathleen Miller? What would you think if that happened to you, W. Tadeo? What would you think if that happened to you, S.L. Bernie? What would you think if your colleague, Andrew Reale, did this to you? Is this the United States of America I live in? Is this justice? This is your office doing this to me. And to this day, it enrages me. And enrage is the right word. I had to tell my mother and father what happened to me when I got home from jail. Then my mother cried. And she immediately said, I know you didn't do anything wrong, Christopher, which that's exactly right. And every single person in my life knows that I'm not a criminal. I've never committed a crime. This is what you're doing to me. This is what you're doing to my life. You know, an arrest is permanent. Those 2 arrests don't go away. And I haven't committed a crime. I've been arrested twice. And I haven't committed a crime. I go outside to confront this toothless grass cutter coming alongside my house. And Steve Desmond of Broccolo Tree in Lawn Care is given the number by your sergeant at your Panorama Trail office. He is told, Steve Desmond of Broccolo Tree in Lawn Care is given the number by your public employee sergeant at your Panorama Trail office. And he is told, call us because Chichester is coming out of his house. And when he comes out of his house, we're going to come there and arrest him. That's exactly what's going on. This is what you're doing. Do you understand what you're doing? Do you understand that the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, where you work, is a criminal organization? You know, the mafia has more integrity, what's left of it, than the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. So, I'm demanding the title to the land alongside my house when Broccolo Tree and Lawn Care is here. And that's returned to sender by Nayraj Shah. So, Layla Kumar Shah, return to sender. Now, return to sender, I'm demanding the title. What are they doing here, these grass-cutting parasites? So they're returning to sender. You know why? Let's return to sender again. You know why? You know why it's returned to sender? Do you know why it is returned to sender? This is registered mail return to. You know why that's returned to sender? They don't own that land next to my house. So I go outside, and this toothless grass-cutting loser is here. And I object to them being here. Because they don't own that land. And you arrested me for this. I'm not guilty of any crime. And I was in your jail for this. You took me to the jail. This sergeant, you're 6 fanatics, 6 of you were here. And I'm placed in the jail cell, and I handcuffed inside the jail, and I couldn't reach the urinal. I urinated on myself twice. So, now, I'm demanding the title. This land alongside my house when you 6 fanatics converged on me. And I know you don't care about any of this. I know it's irrelevant. So, Neeraj and Layla Kumar Shah are not the only ones refusing. Todd, Baxter is refusing to open his mail. The sheriff of Monroe County refuses to open his certified mail from me. And I'm demanding your payroll with this letter. I'm demanding the cost of that surveillance device that you affixed to 2025 Penfield Road for me to see if I walk through that parking lot. I'm demanding the names and charges of every inmate at Monroe County Jail. I'm demanding the cost to the taxpayers to send Ryan Fisher to the Super Bowl in Atlanta with his canine. That's what's in this envelope. And you refuse to open the envelope. So, I am relentless. And I'm going to show you a document that I'm going to fill out today. And it's blank. See? That's a Freedom of Information Law document. So, when I'm going to fill this out today, I'm going to demand your payroll. I'm going to demand the names and charges of every inmate in Monroe County Jail. And I'm going to demand the cost of that surveillance device. And you can lie about that, and you will lie about that. You will fix that device to that building. And Elliot Roth of Consumer Insights will say you did. Because he's the one that told me it was there. So go ahead and lie about that. So, and then I'm going to write a FOIL for how you sent Ryan Fisher to the Super Bowl in Atlanta with his canine Lola. I want to know how much that is. And you're going to refuse to comply with all of those demands. Because you are above the law at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. The law is irrelevant. The law is a joke. So, I'm going to show you again. Because there are no standards for how a Monroe County Sheriff's deputy comports himself with integrity and ethics. Because this is it again. This is how Andrew Reale, your colleague, charges me with harassment second when he knows he marched Jermaine Benman around the side of that vehicle, and he knows that Benman is violent Doug attacked me at the gym. He knows how I'm charged with harassment second because he coached Benman to say, I want to press charges against you. And your colleague, Andrew Reale, while he knows that he did this, walked into Penfield Town Court for my appearance before John Lomenzo. And your colleague, Andrew Reale, said to me, we decided to arrest you before you got there. Your colleague watched me go into handcuffs and leg irons and be taken to Monroe County Jail. He did this to me. Your colleague, your taxpayer-financed, disgusting criminal hack, and he's a criminal, Andrew Reale, because he did this to me. This is what he did to me. This is the document that deposits me in Monroe County Jail by your taxpayer-financed, nauseating, disgusting, vile colleague. Andrew Reale did this to me with this ticket right here. And Todd Baxter, I'm going to guess, doesn't even know about this. And this is going to be irrelevant too. what I'm saying to you, but I'm putting it on the record because everything I'm doing here, since you work at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, is that the truth is fiction.